Good morning. Today's a snow day, and for some people that means a 2-hour delay, or if you're really lucky, a day off of school or work. But if you're a dairy farmer, that's just another work day. So what are you to do but to put on your best insulated Carhartt overalls and your jacket and head to work.
Good morning, this is Coley Jones from Richlands Dairy Farm, and as you can see, it's a snowy day here in Southside Virginia. One of the questions I get asked a lot when we have cold and snowy weather is, how are the cows doing? So I thought I'd make a video and show you. As you can see behind me, this is the pack barn where some of our cows are housed. So our barn is actually designed for the hot, humid Virginia summers. We really don't get bad winters. Obviously we get a few days, but even this is not terrible. Cows do not like to be hot. They get hot at about, I think it's 70 degrees or so, but they don't get cold until you start getting down near probably 0 degrees, 0 to mid-teens. So these girls are actually perfectly happy today. This is their kind of weather. They're eating, they're hanging out, they're chewing their cud. We're getting ready to work the pack, make their beds. They have a good place to lay. We give them plenty to eat, and stay tuned and I'll show you more. All right, for those of y'all who know Quasi Moo, here she is, enjoying a snow day. So one of the first things I do when I get here in the morning is check this group. They're the ones that I'm expecting to calve in the next 2 to 3 weeks or so. So since I know the weather's been bad, we've been bringing them in at night. So, and then last thing I do before I go home is walk through and see if I think anybody's going to calve. And if I think they will, I put them in a different barn. But I don't always know. So sometimes one of them will calve in here at night, and as you can see, it's not the best place for them to calve. So I'll check when I get here first thing, make sure there's not a cold, wet calf in the alley. And if there is, I'll get the calf up and get it warmed up and take care of them. So these girls are actually getting ready to go outside, play in the snow a little bit so that we can clean the barn, scrape the manure out of it, and then put feed down in their bunk. And then they'll come back in here later today. So as you can see, they're fine, they're happy, they're healthy. So these are my newest calves. They were born yesterday. And this is where I'm keeping them. I've got, see, he feels fine. I've got them in a pen with a tarp on 2 sides to help block the wind and the snow. If you can keep a breeze off of them, so it helps keep them warmer. And they have their nice little jammies on to help keep them warm. And then we're putting some more straw down because it's supposed to get down into the teens tonight, I think. So I want them to have a little extra bedding to bed down into. But again, they really don't get cold until about freezing. But as you can see, they're doing just fine. Cold and snow, again, is not harder on cows. It's harder on people. Tractors don't want to start, so we've come out to work the pack. Tractor doesn't want to start because it's cold, so you got to hook it up, charge it, and then once the battery's charged, we'll be able to start the tractor and work the pack. If it was warm, we wouldn't need to do this. So this just tacks on more time to what's already going to be a busy day.
Now that we've got the pack tractor going, what we're doing is we're working up the pack. The pack is where the cows can lay down and kind of hang out. And just think of it as a giant compost pile. It's bedded with sawdust, and then as they poop and pee in it, we drive the pack tractor through. It's got a tiller on the back, and it tills it all in together. So this creates basically a giant compost pile, and as healthy compost pile actually produces heat. So as you see the tractor go by, you'll see heat coming off of the pack. These 2 girls are playing. The one on the right, that's actually snow on her head. They like to have fun too. They'll get down and put their head on a pile of snow and kind of just rub their head in it. And then the white cow is wanting her to play with her more. So there's Jacob working the pack, like I said, tilling it up, and you can see the steam coming off the pack. So them actually just being in the barn helps, laying on the pack helps keep them warm. But cows also eat a lot of food, and part of byproduct of digestion is creating heat. So cows also, just by nature of eating, produce a lot of heat themselves that help keep them warm. Moving on with my morning, I'm going down to the calf barn now, and last night I rolled the curtains up and shut the doors to help keep the weather out so the calves would stay nice and warm. So now we're in my calf barn. The calves we're looking at right now are about 2 to 4 weeks old. I bed the calf barn with straw to help give them a little bit more nesting to bed down into. They have all they can eat grain, and then some of them have hay they can eat, and these can actually go outside if they want. And then over here are my younger calves. They're anywhere from a few days old to about 2 or 3 weeks old. And you can see some of them do still have jammies on just to help give them a little more protection against the cold. And these two are ready to eat. Our calves are fed with an automatic calf feeder. So they're allotted up to 8 liters of milk a day, which would be, I think, a little over 2 gallons. And they get fed that throughout the day. When it freezes, those lines that we're looking at right now will actually freeze and they can't drink. So when it's cold, one of the first things I do when I get to the barn is come down here and check the hoses to see if they're frozen. And if they are, I'll thaw them out and get them hooked back up so the calves can start eating. And there they go. Fortunately, today it wasn't below freezing, so they were able to eat all night. And then this one is over here playing with the bucket, just giving it the business, roughing it up. Calves like to play too. They'll play with each other. They'll play with anything they can get their head on. They are very curious by nature. They're like children. Everything needs to go into their mouth. They want to stick their tongue on it. So this one is feeling good. It's actually pretty warm in the calf barn, not by our standards, but when I go in there, I do generally end up taking my jacket off because I'm plenty warm. As you can see, the calves, nobody looks cold. They're able to eat. They've got straw they can bed down into. They've got grain if they want to munch on some grain. So they're perfectly happy right now. And this one, as I was filming, was licking on my elbow, wanting something to eat. And then you can see I have a heat lamp on down there as well to help give them the younger ones a little more protection against the cold. Calves are funny.
The animals get taken care of here on the dairy farm, even the barn cats, and everybody likes a little warm milk on a cold day. What are your thoughts on farming in the snow, brother?
It's good for goofing off. It's not too bad today.
At least it's above freezing today.
Above freezing, so all the water troughs are running.
Yeah.
And it's good for building a snowman later.
Yeah.
That's all I know about today's snow. And Jacob gets to come help us when it's snowing.
Yeah.
So it's always nice to have one more person.
Yep. All right. This is my dad, Hugh. What do you have to tell us about dairy farming in the snow?
Just another day in paradise.
What's your favorite job on the farm in the snow?
Well, it's warm and cozy in the cab of a tractor pushing snow, so that's a lot easier than what Coley, Jacob, and TR have been out doing.
And what's your least favorite job? Not necessarily just when it's cold, but when it's snowing, but when it's really cold.
Just trying to tend to the cows and get the waters unthawed and fixing busted pipes and all those fun things.
So do you think on a cold, snowy day, it's better to be a dairy farmer or someone who doesn't have to go into work?
Definitely someone that doesn't have to go into work. A government job like your husband. Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. Dairying goes on, rain, snow, sleet, whatever.
So this is what Hugh's been working on, and like I said, it's one of his favorite jobs on the farm when it snows because it's nice and warm in the tractor. So you can use the bucket to push snow out of the way, or we've got a blade on the back, just like they would use on the road. We do this because we've got to be able to get around the farm to feed the cows, the calves, all that, but also because the milk truck needs to be able to get in and out of the driveway to be able to pick up the milk. So we've got to get the driveway cleared out so he can get in and get the milk.
So another thing we have to do when it snows is those are our feed bunks. And of course we've got several inches of snow on the ground, so you got to go down there and kind of cleared off to get to where you can actually work to get the feed to start mixing up feed. So that's what Hugh's doing right now. So just another job that you wouldn't have to do on a daily basis, but when it snows, you've got to do. Okay, so even when it's snowing outside, there's still milking going on. And Ralph and David have been here since, what, 4:30? Yeah, this morning. So as you can see, Ralph came prepared, nice headpiece, and actually wearing pants today.
Yeah, no shorts. Maybe tomorrow, but not today.
So any words of wisdom or things you want people to know about farming in the cold and the snow?
Regardless of the weather, the milk is going to keep coming.
You, David?
Postmaster has it easier.
What's that?
Postmaster has it easier. Everybody thinks the postman has a bad job because he has to go out in the snow. But at least he gets to stay inside for a little while.
Yep. All right.
Now that he's done milking, Ralph's out here cleaning the barn, so we kick the cows out every morning and he pushes the manure and what is now several inches of snow down the lane into the pit. When it's really cold, the snow and the manure he pushes down actually freezes on the ramp, and we have to go down there with shovels and picks and open that up or use the manure agitator too. So it's another job that the cold weather just makes that much harder. So I hope this video has helped show that the cows and calves, they're doing great in this weather. They're happy and healthy, and the farmers are working hard to make sure that they stay that way. So the next time you're off on a snow day and you're enjoying a nice hot cup of hot chocolate or cream in your milk or a nice foamy cappuccino or latte, think about the dairy farmers out there working hard, because that milk was proudly brought to you by an American dairy farmer.